then we'll talk about some of the ahkam of the siyam, preparing oneself for the month of Ramadan. So you fast the month of Ramadan by one of two things. رؤية هلال Ramadan, to see the hilal or the moon of Ramadan, the Muslimin, seen by a Muslim, عدل, just, righteous one, قوي البصر, strong in his eyesight is okay, رجلا كان أو امرأة, man or a woman, doesn't matter. Or إكمال شعبان 30 يوما, or Sha'ban becomes 30 days. Nobody saw the moon and Sha'ban is 30 days. That means the next day is Ramadan because the months cannot be 31 days. So this is one of the two. Ramadan is to be established. أحكام رؤية هلال رمضان. Some of the أحكام of seeing the hilal of the month of Ramadan. يقول إذا لم يرى الهلال مع صحو ليلة 30 من شعبان أصبحوا مفطرين وكذا لو حال دونه غيم أو قتر. When do people see the hilal? To go see the hilal of Ramadan? The night of the 30th of Sha'ban. Right? The night of the 30th. The night comes before the day. So the 29th of Sha'ban, this is the day, nobody sees the hilal then. Then after the Maghrib, at Maghrib time, or before Maghrib time, they will go see the hilal. This is in the night of, the next day is the 30th of Sha'ban. So they will see, because the month is either 29 or 30. The month cannot be 28, cannot be 31. So after the end of the day of the 29th, then people would see the hilal or the moon. So if he's saying إِذَا لَمْ يُرَى الْهِلَالِ, if the hilal was not seen on that night of the 30th of Sha'ban, مع صحو ليلة الثلاثين, when the night is صحو, that means it's clear skies. That means they're able to see it. أصبحوا مفطرين, they would then the next day, which is the 30th of Sha'ban, they have to break their fast. It's not Ramadan yet, because they didn't see the hilal. Why is it very precise like this? Because the Prophet ﷺ, he said, صوموا لرؤيته وأفطروا لرؤيته. Fast when you see it, and break your fast when you don't see it at the end of the month. So they went to see the hilal, nobody saw the hilal. That means they don't fast. The next day is Sha'ban, there's no fasting. And the Prophet ﷺ, it might come that he forbade, نهى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عن صيام يوم الشك. He forbade people fasting the doubtful day of Sha'ban, which is the 30th of Sha'ban. It's called يوم الشك, it's the day of doubt, because if there's clouds, maybe somebody missed it, right? So it might be the first day of Ramadan, but people didn't see the hilal. So there's no fault on them. They are absolutely 100% correct. They fulfilled the orders of Allah. Even if the next day was the first day of Ramadan, meaning there was a hilal that they didn't see it, or it was cloudy. Right? I mean, talk about the here. وَكَذَا لَوْ حَالَ دُونَهُ غَيْمٌ أَوْ قَتَرٌ. If it was cloudy or hazy, and the hilal, when it's born, it's very small, right? And it comes and it goes right away. It stays for a minute maybe or something, it goes away. That's why people, they look for it. It's not like this, it doesn't stay the whole night. So it's only a very short period of time and it goes away. If people don't catch it, it's gone. Right? That's why people, when they go the shahada of one person, the witness of one person is sufficient for the whole ummah to fast. Right? So, and the Prophet ﷺ, he said, صوموا لرؤيتي وأفطروا لرؤيتي فإن غبي عليكم فأكملوا عدة شعبان 30. Hadith al-Bukhari Muslim. Fast when you see it, break your fast when you see it, and if you're not able to see it because of the cloud and so on, then make Sha'ban 30 days. So we as Muslims, who do we listen to and who do we obey? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that to us. So we say, سمعنا وأطعنا, we listen and we obey. So we go see the hilal, or the Muslims see the hilal. If they see it, mashallah, everybody's fasting the next day. They don't see it, cloudy. And other parts it was clear and they saw it, then everybody would fast. What if it's cloudy and there's no communication, right? Deen is not based on sophistications, right? That means you can be in somewhere in the jungle and you still can fast the month of Ramadan. You don't have to have internet and so on to be able, telephone, to be able to know how to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So if in a locality there no communication and it's cloudy, then the next day is the 30th of Sha'ban. Cloudy, that means the moon might be right there. And they would miss it, and they would obey the orders of the Prophet ﷺ, and they would make the next day, what? Sha'ban. Why I'm saying this like this? Because people now, they consider this is mistake. They consider that they did something very bad. Is it very bad to obey the Prophet ﷺ? Right? It is very bad for someone to think this way. When people say they always make mistakes, who make mistakes? By following the Prophet ﷺ, making a mistake, to them it's a mistake, it's not a mistake. So we should not go along with this. So people would say, you know, this country or that country, they always make mistakes when it comes to seeing the moon. So that's why we're going to go with the calculations, because it's very accurate. This is against the orders of the Prophet ﷺ. And if people, it was cloudy and they didn't see the moon and it was up there, and the next day was Ramadan but they didn't do it, and it was Sha'ban, it's not Ramadan, it's Sha'ban, because the Prophet ﷺ said that. And then at the end of the month of Ramadan, what might happen is that on the 28th of Ramadan, the Hilal might be right there. And the month cannot be 28, because if it was cloudy and the Hilal was there, right? So the 29 finished, but the people only fasted 28 days, right? So they would see the Hilal, what are they going to do? Should they then break their fast because they saw the Hilal? What did the Prophet ﷺ say? Sumu ru'yati wa aftiru ru'yati. Fast when you see it, and break your fast when you see it. So they saw the Hilal on the night of the 29th. That means they only fasted 28 days. But they saw the Hilal. What should they do? Next day is Eid. Eid, it's done. Break your fast when you see it. But the month cannot be 28 days. Make a day later. The whole Ummah will make a day later, yes. Did they make a mistake? No, there's no mistake. Are they disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How can they disobey Allah? They're applying the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this has happened at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, like that happened at the time of Umar radiallahu anhu. So it's not a mistake, it's not even correct to say it's no big deal. It's not a mistake, this is deen, this is ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is how it is. But what happens, sometimes the Muslimin, they fall into what Bani Israel did. Bani Israel, when they were ordered to slaughter a cow, right? Any cow, they go to any cow, this is it, this is what they were ordered to do. Which cow, right? And they kept on making it difficult for themselves. Till Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, every time they make it more difficult on them. Till it was one particular specific cow that they went so much effort to find it and spent so much money to get it, and they were almost not going to fulfill the orders of Allah. In which it would have been so easy for them if they would just listen from the beginning, when Musa alayhi salam said to them, "Itbahu baqara." So the Prophet ﷺ said something, but some people, they refuse because they think they have PhDs and very sophisticated in knowledge. So how can we just look at this and that? We have calculations. So, right, it's not about calculations or the issue, it's what's behind this. It's the wrong understanding of the deen of Islam. It's always pushing forward for this one's reason to oppose the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, thinking that we can outsmart the deen of Islam and we know better and so on. And calculations were present at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ clearly said, نحن أمة أمية لا نكتب ولا نحسب الشهر هكذا وهكذا. We are illiterate ummah, we do not write and we do not read. We do not calculate, the month is like this and like this, and he pointed والسلام, that it's 30 or 29. So this ummah, its deen is not based on writing and calculations and so on, it's much simpler than that. So this is the ubudiyyah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he says, that's what he says, وَإِذَا صَامَ النَّاسُ 28 يَوْمًا, if people fasted 28 days, ثُمَّ رَأَوُا الْهِلَالِ, then they saw the hilal, the moon, أَفْطَرُوا, they break their fast, وَلَزِمَهُمْ صَوْمُ يَوْمٍ بَعْدَ الْعِيدِ, They break their fast and they have to make up a day after the Eid. Right? This is the consensus among the ulama. وإن صاموا بشهادة واحد 30 يوما فلم يرى الهلال لم يفطروا حتى يرى الهلال. If they fasted by the witness of one person 30 days, right? فلم يرى الهلال, then they did not see the hilal. لم يفطروا حتى يرى الهلال. That means they would not break their fast till they see the hilal. So the month of Ramadan ends, right, either by seeing the hilal or it's supposed to be by completing the month 30 days. And if the hilal was seen in the beginning, right, and they passed 30 days, that's it. That's the end of the month of Ramadan because the month cannot be 31, right? So this is with regards to the ru'ya of the hilal, and this is what the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, the hadith of Abi Hurairah radiallahu anhu, صوموا لرؤيته وأفطروا لرؤيته فإن غبي عليكم فأكملوا عدة شعبان 30 متفق عليه. Then after that the next مسألة, the next point, من يلزمه الصوم بالرؤية. Still with looking or seeing the hilal. Who becomes mandatory for them to fast when the hilal is seen, when the moon is seen. This refers to the issue of the matala, whether it's local sighting or global sighting as they call it. So he says, إذا رأى الهلال أهل بلد لزمهم الصوم. If people in a town or a country, wherever they saw the hilal, they all have to fast. وحيث إن مطالع الهلال مختلفة فلكل إقليم أو قطر حكم يخصه في بدء الصيام ونهايته حسب رؤيته. He's talking about this opinion that if for every إقليم, for every district, for every there's a word for it, region, for every region, they have a ruling specific for that region. So the ru'ya is only for the region that they're in, because the hilal is different from one region to the other. So if every region would only take its own ru'ya, this is absolutely fine. Right? So if every region take the sighting of its own, they don't take the sighting of others. So for example, if this region like the United States and Canada, Mexico, like this, they say we're going to just look at the hilal and if we don't see it, then we don't fast. That's fine if they do this, if they're able to do this and they're all together in this. ولكن وإن صام المسلمون جميعا في أقطار الأرض برؤية واحدة فهذا حسن. And if all the Muslims all over the earth they fast by the ru'ya, by the witness of one Muslim, this is good and this is better, and this is the majority of the ulama are on that opinion, that if it's seen, if the hilal is seen by one, then everybody would fast, no difference between one region or the other. But the other opinion is a valid opinion, as long as they witness the moon with their own eyes, so it's not a matter of dispute in this regard, and people should follow what those who are in charge of them they do, they make a decision, people would follow that. As long as the people in charge, they don't decide on calculations, then they are not to be followed whatsoever. يقول وهو مظهر يدل على الوحدة والإخاء والاجتماع, showing the unity and so on. وإلى أن يتحقق ذلك إن شاء الله تعالى فعلى كل مسلم أن يصوم مع دولته. Every Muslim should fast with the people that he lives with, and the people in the same town, they should not split. Some people fast this day and some people fast the other day. This is something that always brings, not good things. So they should be all together in this. And this is one of the things where those who have to fast, they should come together with this. They should not say, oh, these people, I don't like them. It's like the graveyard. Right? You don't have a graveyard for this masjid and a graveyard for this masjid. And, graveyard for the Muslimin. Right? And it's been the way since the time of the Prophet ﷺ that you would find one graveyard in the town. It's not the graveyard for the people of the Sunnah and the graveyard for the people of not really have some divisions. Unless a person is outside the fold of Islam, that's different. And he's not to be buried with the Muslimin. But so people can get together to have a graveyard, right? Even if they have differences among each other, but they have one graveyard. The same thing when it comes to the beginning and the end of the month. يقول من رأى وحده هلال رمضان ورد قوله أو رأى هلال شوال ورد قوله فيصوم سرا ويفطر سرا. Another مسألة, if you see the hilal, if you saw yourself, you saw the moon, but then your statement was rejected, they didn't take your witness, right? They don't like you, they didn't believe you, whatever, right? What should you do? Should you fast with the people? They won't take your witness, that means they're not fasting the next day. Should you not fast like them? No, you should fast. Because you saw it yourself. But you do it on your own secretly. Don't cause fitna. Don't start saying, these people, how dare they don't take my witness. I'm fasting tomorrow, and you go all over the place. People, tomorrow Ramadan. These people are deceiving you. Right? Astaghfirullah, you're breaking your fast in one of the days of Ramadan. This is cause fitna. In these matters, people follow the people of authority. Right? And this is not a mistake again. Right? So the person in this case, he has a personal responsibility, but he do it on his own, without nobody knowing anything about it. And the same thing at the end of the month. If they rejected his witness, he has his own Eid. He makes his own Eid and eat and so on, but no salah. Right? He should make salah next day with the people. This is if he saw the hilal and he was sure that he saw the hilal. وإن رؤي الهلال نهارا فهو لليلة أو لليلة المقبلة فإن غاب قبل الشمس فهو لليلة الماضية. Some details of the moon. If it's seen during the day, it's for the next night, right? But if he goes away before the sun, then it's for the previous night. So it's seen before Maghrib, because this is what the hilal of the night to come. And يجب على إمام المسلمين أن يعلن بالوسائل المشروعة والمباحة دخول شهر رمضان. The Imam of the Muslimin would announce this so that people would get to know that this is the month of Ramadan, and the same way at the end of the month of Ramadan. Another مسألة حكم صوم من جهل الوقت. What's the ruling of someone didn't know that this is Ramadan? Or, how can that happen? يقول من جهل وقت الصوم كالأعمى والسجين مثلا فله ثلاث حالات. If a person is in prison, have no idea when is Ramadan and when not, or a person that is blind or deaf is not aware of how things are, يقول he has one of three cases. فإن وافق صومه الشهر أو بعده فصومه صحيح عدا الأيام التي لا يصح صومها. وإن صام قبل الشهر لم يصح لأنه جاء بالعبادة قبل وقتها. وإن وافق صومه الليل دون النهار لم يصح لأن الليل ليس وقتا للصوم. So if he fasted the month or after the month, his sawm, his fasting is valid, except the days that is not permissible for him to fast. Like he fasted the day of Eid, for example, then it's not valid. He has to make up that day. If he fasted before the month of Ramadan, does not count. So say, for example, the month started and he was not aware. He did not know. And he got to know that, the 4th of Ramadan. Then he fast and he make up these days, right? But what if he didn't know? He thought that the 4th of Ramadan is the 1st of Ramadan. Then he will keep on fasting 30 days or so, but then the day of Eid comes in between. So this day has to be made up because it's not permissible to fast the day of Eid. Otherwise, all the days are valid. And if he fasted before the month of Ramadan, he didn't know, so he fasted 2 days before Ramadan. These days are not valid. He has to make up these days because he did not fast in Ramadan. And what if he fasted during the night? Because he doesn't know anything. In a room where there's no day or night. Then it's not valid. Of course, the reward is something else. But it's not valid. He has to make up this day once he gets to know it, because the fasting is during the day and not during the night. يقول حكم من صام في بلد ثم سافر. Another مسألة. If a person fasted, started the month in one country, and then he traveled to another country, what should he do? When there is اختلاف مطالع, when the month is different from one place to the other. يقول إذا صام المسلم في بلد ثم سافر إلى بلد آخر فحكمه في الصيام والإفطار حكم البلد الذي انتقل إليه فيفطر معهم إذا أفطروا لكن إن أفطر لأقل من 29 يوم من 29 يوما قضى يوما بعد العيد ولو صام أكثر من 30 يوما فلا يفطر إلا معهم. What it means is, a person is in one country, like here, he starts the month of Ramadan with the people. And then he travels. His ruling is, he starts the month with the people that he's with. And he ends the month with the people that he's with. He should not end the month with the people that he was with. No. He ends the month with the people that he's with today, at the end of the month. But what if he would end up fasting 28 days only? Because when the month started, he was in a country where they started one day earlier. One day later, sorry. One day later. Then the country that he left to go to. And then when he went, they started a day earlier. So it was for him 28 days, and for those who are he with them, there are 29. So what should he do? He should break his fast with them and make up a day.
If it was 29?
If he's 29, that's fine. Right. So if he's 29 days, that means his people fasted 30 days. He fasts 29 only. Right? So he does not have to make up a day because he's now with the new place that he went to. But what if the place that he went to, right, they fasted the day later, so it becomes 30 days. Right? They would fast 30 days, and he started the month a day before them. So he'll end up fasting 31 days. Right? He should stay with them and break his fast with them. Yes, the Eid is when the people have Eid. The Eid is not when the person he has his own Eid. No, the Eid is when the people have Eid. So he has to continue till so he has to observe the Eid with them. Either if it's less and you make up the day, or it's more and then there's no harm on him and you would have Eid with them. يقول نعم. Just let me get this one and then we have questions. But actually the next issue is the niyyah, so maybe we can postpone that inshallah. Okay, if you have any questions, go ahead.